Shooting street photos can be a bit unpredictable because you don't know what type of lighting you're gonna get. So instead of relying on the buildings and the street lights, we've brought our own light. This is one of the Amaran 60X lights, and it's small enough that I can fit the entire package, including the softbox and the lighting handles and the batteries in my bag and bring it with us. So follow along and let's go get those photos. Full disclaimer, Aputure did provide this light kit to test, but they didn't ask me to make this video, and this video is not sponsored. We just enjoyed using the light so much that I wanted to share my thoughts and our experience from doing this photo shoot. Without the light box, the 60D and 60X are some of the best value lights you can get. They're in a price category that is perfect for new content creators, but since they come with the same pro level features you get on Amaran's more expensive lights, they're equally suited to be used in studio environments. When you add the new 45cm light box, plus the handle, plus either V-mount batteries or NPF batteries, it basically turns the light into a do-it-all Swiss Army knife for content creators. It's bright enough to be used on its own at a home or in a studio setting, but you can also take it with you on the go for mobile content creation. Our main goal with this shoot was to demonstrate how introducing a light can improve the quality of your photos or your video footage. Without a light, you could probably apply a bunch of post-processing to a photo in Lightroom, but that takes a lot of time, and because this was a hybrid photo video shoot, you can't easily or realistically change the lighting for a video. Also, shooting in an urban environment can be a bit unpredictable because you never know what kind of lighting you're going to get. So instead of relying on the city lights or the street lights to shoot our portraits, we brought the Amaran 60X with the softbox kit so that we could shoot anywhere we wanted and then just adjust the intensity or the color temperature of the light to match. Now, you might think that carrying around a dedicated lighting kit is annoying, and while the 60D and the 60X come with a dedicated carrying case, I was actually able to fit both of them with the lights and the handle in the top of my camera bag. The softbox also breaks down into a relatively small package, and with a big enough camera bag, you could probably even fit it inside, but I actually found it easier to strap the softbox kit to the outside of my backpack, and as soon as we set it up once, we just carried it around to each of our locations rather than constantly disassembling and reassembling it. Just running around like a bunch of crazies. All the footage that you're seeing in this video was shot with the 60X, which I think is totally worth the $200 over the 60D model, which is $180. Now the X is an X model because it's bi-colored, which means you can change the color temperature. And as the sun was setting, we actually warmed the light down from a cool daylight at 5600 Kelvin down to about 3700 Kelvin to match the street lights and the lights from the buildings. Camera-wise, in case you were wondering, I was shooting with the Canon R5 with the 24-70 f2.8, and most of the B-roll footage that you're seeing was shot by Will on the R6, also with the 24-70. The Lightbox kit comes with two front diffusers as well as a grid, and we opted to use the heavier diffuser so that we could get as much light diffusion as possible. Now you'll notice in broad daylight, the light isn't bright enough to overpower the sun. In fact, even if you upgrade to a bigger, more powerful light like the 200X or the 200D, you'll still not have enough power to fully light a subject in direct sunlight. Where the light will be most useful is in the shade or in the shadows of buildings, or as the sun sets and it starts to get dark out. Now you might be wondering, especially if you're someone who just shoots photos, why not use a strobe or a flash unit? And I think that really depends upon your application. In our case, this was a hybrid shoot where I also had my friend Stefano helping out, and we were shooting both photo and video, so we couldn't just use a strobe unit, we had to go with a constant light. And if you're someone who shoots photos and videos, a light like the 60D or the 60X will be much more versatile. Another consideration is that we were shooting in locations that were really busy with both people and cars. The last thing we wanted to do was pull out a high-powered strobe unit and start flashing a bunch of cars as they were driving by. And people are coming, let's just move out of the way. Okay. If you're someone shooting videos at night or doing street interviews, this is where the light and the handle kit are extremely useful. We strategically picked a location to shoot our photos where we knew there would be existing light bollards and building lights. So this provided us with a base level of illumination, but on its own, it wasn't quite enough to get a great shot. And that's where adding in the 60X really upped the quality and the character of the light that we were getting. In some instances, we used it as a key light to illuminate the model, and in others as an edge light to give some interesting variations to our portraits. There is so much to this light kit that I've barely scratched the surface. It has a full-size Bowens mount. It can hold umbrellas and other modifiers, and it can even be wirelessly controlled. But to learn more about that, I've linked the light, the softbox kit, and the handle in the description below. So check that out, or subscribe if you want to see more photo video content like this. And until the next one, go shoot photos. That's perfect. Sorry. Will and I almost got murdered earlier by a guy flinging his garbage around, so yeah, it's scary.